Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Send Us Flowers. I'm your host, Liz. I also go by Busy, and I am joined today by Annie Trimber. I am so excited. We are going to talk a little bit about foodie content and cannabis. I actually know you. I know Annie from DC, which is wild. So we're going to talk a little bit too about, East Coast, coming to the West Coast, and what just that experience is like, and pivoting your content into something that is, away from the norm. And I think that that's going to be like just so cool to hear about. I already know a little bit of the story, but I think everyone else would love to hear a bit about it. And then also just working, as a woman in cannabis, and a woman who is, a little bit more feminine, and like the content is a little more long pause.
I don't want to say let's say like more curated.
It's definitely more curated. It's different, and that's okay, and that's what this space is for, is to celebrate, every different aspect of cannabis and give people their flowers. And so I'd love for you to say hello and tell us who you're sending flowers to.
Yes, so my name is Annie. I'm originally from Northern Virginia, which is how I met Liz.
Crazy.
Way back when, living in DC.
Here we are in LA.
We both made it. But since moving here, have gotten more involved in cannabis, especially with cannabis and the intersection of food.
Right.
And also kind of just cannabis as medicine, and how it can kind of lend towards a more like mindful and intentional life that is far beyond, East Coast or other people's conceptions of what cannabis can be. And I really love the intersection of cannabis and food, because I think of it as an ingredient. Almost.
Yeah.
It's an ingredient for life, but also like an ingredient in food. And with food, my philosophy is also kind of like food is nourishment. So like I really like the intersection of the two.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to talk about that. And then I did have been thinking about who I wanted to send flowers to.
I know. I never want to like pressure people, but I'm like, who? Think of who?
No. It's good. I want to send flowers to a few other women in the cannabis space that I feel like I met in the past 6 months to a year or so, that I feel like kind of like finally had the same mindset of cannabis, and also we're incorporating like an unabashed sense of femininity into the way that they talk about and report about cannabis. So those are Christina of Fruit and Flower, Rachel of Smoke Sip Savor, Jamie Evans with her new drink Herbacea, and Jamie has the herb psalm.
I love it. I've been trying to also get her on the podcast.
Yeah, so nice. And then the last one would be Liz Udell. I met when I was working with Cannacraft, and I love what she's doing at Cookies. And so those are just a few ladies that I wanted to send flowers to, because I just love what they're doing in the field, and they just have this sense of confidence and putting their own spin on how they cover it.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I have the biggest smile on my face for all the audio listeners. We both do, because I absolutely can copy paste that. Those women are absolutely extraordinary people in this space. If you don't watch their work or aren't familiar with them, please make yourself familiar with them, because they are just badass people.
Totally.
They do really cool stuff.
Just really gorgeous spreads and just like ways of incorporating cannabis into things that people don't think about doing. And just putting their own spin on it, and I just love that.
Yeah, no, same. I'll link them below in the bio, in the caption, whatever you want to call it now. But definitely go check them out. Now, something else I also want to talk about in this podcast too, because you were mentioning that, cannabis, weed, marijuana, whatever you want to call it, has been something that was very not a part of your early life. And it was a journey also kind of coming out to your family about that.
Totally.
And I definitely know what that's like. And so I'd love to start this podcast there, and then we can walk through a little bit of your journey, and then more into the weed and food world.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think that growing up, I didn't know a single thing about cannabis besides the fact that my family said it was bad.
Yeah.
And it was bad for you.
Yeah.
And, if there's ever cannabis nearby. I mean, of course, they never called it cannabis. They called it weed or dope or like whatever.
Or like the devil's lettuce or something like marijuana.
Yeah, something silly like that. And so when I was in high school, like I took that seriously. Like I was I was very like by the book in high school. I was not thinking for myself at all. Like I was like, okay, it's all like get good grades, get into a good college, do this, do that, go to orchestra, all of this stuff. And so
what instrument did you play?
I played flute. I was actually a music major in college. I'm going to touch on that a little bit, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, so I knew nothing about it besides the fact that it was bad. And in high school, like I had a couple of my friends that, like started consuming, and I terminated those friendships for that reason, because I just was so caught in my like bubble of what had been told to me as a child that, it wasn't even like, okay, it was like, if you are around people that consume it, it's bad too. It's not even just bad for yourself.
No, even the association. Yes. Yeah. And like same way, my grandma, she was a part of, I don't know exactly what she did with the program, but she helped build out the DARE program essentially in Maryland, Montgomery County schools.
Wow, yeah.
And so we grew up with like, just crazy stories. Like it was really, it's night and day looking back at that. And
stories that probably weren't even possible either.
No.
Like, yeah.
Oh my God, just crazy stuff. And now today it's a completely different story. I get her CBD for Christmas. She tells me how much it's helping her. She deals with a lot of pain, and she just got shingles actually.
Oh my gosh.
And so she's been doing CBD baths with like salts and stuff, and she's like, this is really helping. And different world.
My mom was just here for the holidays, and I would give her like a little edible of something every night, just like 5 milligrams or something, because she wanted it to sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is cool that we can get to this spot.
Right.
But basically, like I didn't touch cannabis until I went to college, and then made the really poor mistake of having my first experience be an edible that my friend just baked.
So it was a mystery edible.
Mystery edible. He bought bought $150 worth of weed, which probably back then was like a quarter.
Probably around a quarter, yeah.
And then made one batch of brownies with it. Literally one batch of brownies. So
how many milligrams would that even? I'm not even gonna pretend to know the math, but holy shit, especially like you're just putting them in a regular tray. I imagine
just an 8x8 square pan. Oh
my God!
And like I was there when he made it. I was like, oh my gosh, so fun. Of course, I knew nothing. And then the next day, I do this edible, and I didn't even make it to where we were going. Like I was going in and out of consciousness, like on the couch. My friend had to walk me back to my dorm, which like under any normal circumstance would have taken like 10 minutes, but took 45 minutes because I'm like walking at a snail's pace. And then like it was,
you're just like crawling.
It was so weird. I like. Can we curse on this?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I shit you
can
not.
smoke weed, but you can't curse.
Okay. I shit you not. I'm walking back to my dorm, and I like keep thinking I'm seeing people that I know, but like as I get closer to them, their face like morphs into who their actual face was, and I was just like tripped out. So pretty traumatized from that. Ended up giving it another try, maybe like a year and a half, 2 years later from smoking, and that I was like. Then that was my epiphany moment. That was like, holy shit, I have never been this relaxed in my entire life. I'm pretty sure. Because like I was a music major in college. All in high school was like...
That's a high stress environment.
Very much. And like...
Very competitive.
Very competitive. Yeah. And, I... even before college, I was in like 3 or 4 orchestras outside of school, doing competitions, traveling, all of this stuff. So... I was always under stress. And then I smoked for the first time, and I was like, whoa, this is a new feeling. I've never experienced this bliss.
Yeah.
Like this. Just like, it was almost like just this weightlessness almost. Yeah. And then the next year, I ended up getting tendonitis pretty badly in my right wrist, elbow, and shoulder. So I had to take time off of music.
Which is so real for musicians.
Very real. But like the medication that they had me on for my tendinitis was like, it was just like the stuff that they give people with rheumatoid arthritis. Like, I don't know why they gave me that. And it didn't work.
They do that.
That was the thing. It just like, it didn't work. Like, it affected me poorly mentally, but didn't get rid of any of my pain. And like, I definitely leaned more on cannabis during that period of college because it was the only thing that helped me with my pain. And it was also one of the only things that helped me kind of get over like my mental block around music. Like, I feel like whenever I would consume, I was able to just play the way that I truly felt instead of just getting caught up in the mental aspect of it.
Oh my God, I just got chills. I think that that's beautiful. And by the way, if you do, so I have a joint for you. Yay. I can prepare a dab for you.
I mean,
I have another joint for you. Just, if you want to smoke now.
Yeah, whenever you want. Yeah. You tell me when.
Because I'm going to start smoking. So if you would like, what would you like? Dealer's choice.
When do you
I'm the dealer, actually. So that doesn't make sense.
How about you choose? Because I'm down with whichever.
Okay.
What do you want me to taste? How about that?
Ooh.
Let's put it that way.
Okay. I want you to just feel comfortable. So we can start with a joint, and then I can prep the dab. And then we have the Gravitron later on, which we'll
my gosh.
Oh, shit. This is keefy, too.
Ooh. That is something. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Why do I look so terrified to do this? My hands are like shaking. This is like most important moment of my life. Like just lighting this on camera.
Just light it on camera. Everyone's watching.
I don't even know what I'm doing, honestly.
This is California Rolls. It's a sour pink lemonade, and the keef is sour tangy.
I really fucked this up. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. Don't apologize to me. That's your joint.
Oh shit.
That's all you. You can share if you want, and I'll share this too, maybe. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh my gosh, no, it's
cozy and comfortable over here.
Love it. Joint in my hand. I'm cozy and comfortable.
Yeah. But I'm a Taurus. I'm all about like everyone get comfortable when they come on the podcast.
I love that. Are you into astrology?
As far as knowing that a Taurus of what I am, and then I know Leo, like my boyfriend's a Leo.
I'm a Leo.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay, I've been fine. I just interviewed another Leo.
Really?
Yeah, on Monday. I don't even know I think it was on Monday. Yeah. And I've been finding myself in the presence of a lot of Leos lately.
Do you know what your other like 2 signs in the big 3?
I have no idea.
Okay, yeah. But you might, that's a conversation for a whole other time. That's a personal conversation for sure. We'll talk about it. But anyways, getting back to the weed or the cannabis. Yeah, so it really helped me out, especially my last 2 years of college. Did I have the best relationship during that time? Probably not, because I was in pain and I was using it I was using it medically, and it was necessary.
I feel that.
So, like, I do think that my consumption with cannabis has gone on its own evolution.
Its own journey.
Yeah. And now, like, so after college, spent some time in Chicago, then in D.C. where we met. Mm-hmm. The cannabis scene in D.C. then was, like, also, like, non-existent.
Oh, my God. Totally non-existent.
I had a dealer who was
so
like,
underground.
So underground. I had my roommate had a friend who sold weed, so like I always had someone, but he of course was never reliable.
Oh my God.
And then one time I like walked out to get it. He was like, cool if we drive around the block. I'm in my slippers because I'm like just literally going to like grab weed from the car, right? He doesn't drive me around the whole block. He drives me like around the corner, and then I have to walk like 2 blocks in my slippers back to my house in winter. I'm just like, dude. But he was like, "Are you ready? Like, get on my car." I'm like, "What?" It's so nice we can go to dispensaries
I know,
now, right?
It's a completely different experience. Oh my God. Okay, would you say, what is your craziest story picking up weed? Like old school, East Coast pickup. Like, what's your craziest story?
I mean, it's probably just that guy. Honestly. Yeah. Like, when I was in college, I was lucky to stumble upon a friend group of guys that were all from California, so they were just getting stuff sent from California to them.
It's always a group of guys from California. Right? That's I had the same thing. Yeah.
Right? So, like, I didn't really have to buy my own weed until after I graduated college, I think. And then,
okay.
And then, you know, like when I lived in Chicago, that was a little bit harder to find like a person. But then I had a roommate who just shared. So I just got lucky. I didn't really have to buy weed until I got to DC. Yeah, you did get really
lucky. I got to the point where like in college, I didn't like hanging around. Like you know that vibe. Oh, is there an ashtray? I made it here. Use that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. You know, I like did not like hanging around, and so I just got to the point where I was like, can I just buy it and leave?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's that, even if you don't have to pay with money, you have to like pay with your time and like hang out, and it's like,
I think
no.
Okay, so I don't have a dealer story, but I have just a pretty funny like weed related story from college, which was like when I first started smoking, like the first time was first couple times we were at friends' houses, like you said. And then like after a couple times, my friend and I were like, well, we want to smoke other times besides when we're at their house. But we had nothing to smoke out of, right? So we decide, because we don't really want to commit to being a stoner. Right. We're like, because this is still when they had a negative connotation.
Okay.
Right?
I have a friend just like that. He was like, I don't want to go to a dispensary, but I'll have your edibles. And I'm like, no, no more.
Yeah. So this is still back in college, and we're like, okay, well, we're just gonna go on a piece together. So we can only smoke when we're together.
That's so funny. Right? I totally get, yeah.
So then we get there and, buy it or whatever. But I guess like my parents were checking my bank statements.
Oh, shit.
And saw that I had purchased something from a head shop. And so I think I came up with this ridiculous like attempt of a lie that was like,
how'd that go?
I was like, he only had cash and the store only let people use cards, and he didn't have his card with him, so I had to put it on my card. And they were like, yeah, okay. And
that is so creative, but also then they'd be like, why were you there in the first place?
It was so short-sighted. Like, I am not a good liar. That was like the first and only time I ever tried to lie to them.
That is so funny. And so when did you end up, when did that relationship change? Or has it changed? What is that like now with your parents and them knowing? Because you're pretty in weed now.
Yeah. Well, things changed when I moved here. 100%.
Yeah. Interesting.
Not only was it just more like, because it was more available and you were actually like purchasing it. I got a med card when I moved here. Right. Before it was legal. And so like just the fact that you could purchase it like officially at a store, that almost like helps break the stigma for yourself, because you're like, okay, this is something that I used to buy on the streets that was like illegal. Now, I mean, we have still a long way to go with legalization, but at least that, for me, that first step was like, okay, this has already become more normalized to me. And then I like started, when I moved here, I was like working with Food Beast, and like they all smoke, so I was like definitely upping the intake. And then I just it again moved to like an individual spot. It was just like, okay, I'm not just gonna consume with them. Like, let's try like on my own. And then like I found myself like not ever wanting to be alone, like on a Thursday or Friday night, being like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to just like smoke this bowl, relax, recuperate. I think it really helped me slow down, honestly. I have always been like go, like with the last job kind of like hit burnout, and like I feel like cannabis really like slowed me down a little bit. I feel like my brain is probably like leaning on going on overdrive than functioning too slowly. And so I feel like I'm able to just be like more present in certain moments, and I feel like anxiety or things like that are just aren't as daunting now, because if you just slow down enough to be able to like think about a situation clearly, then you're going to be able to figure out the way through it.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. Sorry. That just like hit me. I was like, damn, that's like the advice I actually needed. So thank you. Oh my God. That was beautiful.
Thanks.
That's, and it makes you, I was talking about this also with, it's so funny like having this podcast and talking to different people and seeing like the similar experiences, and like I swear it helps you be more aware. And that can be a good or bad thing, but it definitely makes you more aware and in tune. And it kind of is like, hey, like you need to be doing that thing, or like, that this needs to be happening or whatever, it's just, but yeah, I think that that's a beautiful way to describe it.
Yeah.
And so, you came out here with Food Beast. I think I saw you at an event for,
it was
I don't
for
remember.
Bloom.
For Bloom. That's right.
They were our first dispensary or like cannabis client.
That was so long ago.
Yeah, I know. They were the first, not Bloom itself, but the company was like the first publicly traded cannabis company, I believe.
Really?
I need to tell you that. I'll have to fact check me.
Okay. We'll put a disclaimer
like
at the bottom.
But yeah. So I don't know. They were really trying to. Well, the legalization of cannabis kind of provided like a quandary for advertising people, because there were so many limitations on like what we could or couldn't do.
Right.
And so they were trying to figure that out for themselves as well. And with them, we leaned a lot on events.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and it was actually kind of cool because like when we were getting influencers for these events, we didn't realize how many people that were already just on our list for food were like also super into weed.
The crossover is crazy.
Yeah, and we were like, wow, we can just connect in this way too. It's like once you like know that someone smokes, it's like, I don't know, it's like your kindred spirits or something. You just like you just like understand that person just like a shred of a bit more because you share that. Almost.
I totally agree, and I honestly think, and let me know what you think about this. It has to do with the palate. Like, I think food, like you have a wonderful palate. And I'm sure a lot of other people, like, we talk about, like we smell it. And we're like, oh, the terps. And, like, you smell it and you taste it. And it's, like, a whole experience. And when you have good product, by the way, like, that experience is so night and day.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I feel like when a legalization of anything happens, there's, like, a flood of products to the market, obviously.
Right. There's always good and bad actors.
Right. But it's in a time where people aren't educated to know the difference either.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, the stuff that I'm smoking now is way better than anything that I smoked in college, if not just for the fact that I'm, like, appreciating it for its flavor. Dude, I was just talking. Okay, there are two really disgusting weed habits that my guy friends had in college. I have to get off my chest right now.
Yeah, what are they?
One was like resin hits in the bowl when we were out. Number two,
I had guy friends who did that. They would always be like, we'd be like, we're out of weed, and they'd be like, just do a resin hit. Be like,
they'd get you so fucked up though. I don't know why. And then the second one, spliff bongs.
Oh, I don't understand that.
No.
I would. I did smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
I quit though.
Congrats.
A few years ago now. That's crazy. And I loved American spirits and weed in the morning with a coffee. And so I did do spliff like cigarettes, but
the bong is too much.
It's crazy. And then your whole house smells like tobacco and weed, which is like
bad combo. Smell with the smell.
That's not what anyone's home should smell like ever.
No. But their homes did smell like that. I
know. And like I'm like now my mind is like the scent is coming back to me.
You can be taken back to places by the smells. Like
it's
but
so
kind
powerful.
of back to like the quality and things like that. Like I think there are a lot of people that it's like with food, like you eat to live or you live to eat.
Yeah.
Like there are people who smoke to get high, and then there are people who smoke for the experience, the taste, the smoke coming out of your mouth, just like how sensual that is in itself, watching the smoke cloud in the sky, the ritual of it. Like
the ritual, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the terps are so, like if I, like just, smoking is great, but when you smoke something and you get that like punch of flavor and you almost drool like a little bit, that's the best
God, dude,
thing.
I know. Yeah. And like food has terpenes.
Yes.
Other plants have terpenes. And so it is this holistic thing. And especially like when I have homemade edibles, there is really no other better way. Like once I can home grow and make my own edibles, it is game fucking over.
Seriously, that's
it's
the
game
dream.
over.
Yeah.
That's the dream. And I get why it's the dream now, though. It's not just like, oh, I get my own weed.
It's the same thing. It's the same philosophy of people that want to grow their own food.
Yes.
I want to do that.
I would love to know how to do that.
My fiance talk about like he's grown before, and so like he would be in charge of that, and like I would love to learn how to farm, and like that. Just being able to sustain yourself is something just like.
Yes. Yeah. Are we going to start a farm?
Oh, my God, let's.
Oh, my God. Okay. Also, another really cool thing is that a lot of people who come on the podcast, we're building an empire.
Yes.
Pussy Weed wants to have her own flower. You guys can grow it.
Oh, shit.
Roger can help because he has his own farm. We'll just have like a whole big... It'll be fantastic.
Everyone can visit in 10 years.
Yeah, it'll be our commune.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. Anyway, so no, but like, and so this, what I was showing you, this is Terps flower. I have to shout it out. Like, this isn't paid. I paid for this. I don't like this.
That means a lot these days when especially if you work in the industry and you get product all the time. I think it's the utmost compliment of someone in the industry to go actually purchase a brand.
I mean, it's a lot of work, and especially for craft cannabis right now, like I want them to have money to continue doing the things that they're doing. Like, let me give you money. Yeah. Like, I don't want your stuff for free. It's fire. Just like, I want to support. And so I really, really love this flower. And like, and actually, like, I do want to say this. I've been kind of like structuring things out, and the podcast itself is not going to be monetized. And when it is, I will be very like upfront about it. I'll let people know what's a gift. But as for like paid, this is a free zone, and I want it to be that way for guests to come in and talk about whatever and not feel beholden to like a name on the table.
Yeah. I love that. So because especially now, a lot of the companies that have the money to do, like, it's just about resources at this moment. Like, just be like, if a company can pay for it, doesn't necessarily mean that the quality is there. It's just that they have the funds for it.
Yeah. And so I want to be a little, I'll do events and other fun things and like, products that I actually really appreciate and like that's what you'll see and will be used.
That's awesome.
But other than that, I just wanted to put that out there because I do, there is so much paid content.
Yes.
And when you know better, you do better.
Totally.
So.
Agreed.
Terps flower is incredible. It's from Doc and Bentley from up north. It's Heritage Terps. And so the OG, the Black Apple Kush is crazy. I think that's that one. And then this is the Blue Skunk. Like, they just smell insane.
This one's really like herbaceous.
Yeah, it's very piney. Fruity. Yeah, super
one's
piney.
Like
super fruity.
This one's transporting me to like a beach. Not our beach here, but like a tropical beach or something. I say transport to the beach. It's like 10 minutes away. 10 minutes away.
It's like, we could drive down.
Sorry.
But yeah, so, when we're talking about like product and flavors and all of this, I think it really beautifully combines with food. And so what was the ultimate crossover for you to be now? You make a ton of really cool content. You make a ton of really like amazing dishes. I'm constantly drooling over your content. And so what was the full switch there that took you to where you are now?
Yeah. So shortly after I moved here, I was supposed to go to this like media dinner I was supposed to do like a review. I used to do restaurant reviews, and something fell through with it, but the PR trick felt so bad that she wanted to invite me to something else, even though I was like, it's really not a big deal. Like, we'll just reschedule. And she's like, are you into, do you consume cannabis? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I'm going to invite you to this party. And it was this crazy party in Hollywood somewhere, but Kiva was there.
Okay.
And they were like sampling their stuff.
I love
Kiva. I was like, wait, this is delicious. Also, like, I mean, this is the first time I'd experienced it, but I made a connection with someone at Kiva, and I was like, I'd love to just try cooking with it or making something with it, and they sent me. I had to get my med card so I could receive the package from Kiva. Actually,
that is so. Man, that's crazy.
And then I did 2 recipes. I had someone like film them. I didn't. And I think I posted one of them, but I wanted to do like a little like cooking like personality show of me making something. So I used the Kiva, and I made bacon chocolate chip cake balls.
Ooh.
And medicated hot chocolate.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, this is really fucking good. I brought it to everyone at Food Beast. And like it was also true to my style too. Like the cake was like gluten-free, dairy-free, paleo.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like, that's my niche a little bit, I guess. But
I love
that was like the first time I cooked with it, and everyone loved it. And I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a thing. And then my friend from high school who lived out here, we had this idea to make a cake mix, a cannabis cake mix that we like created the LLC and everything, got it tested, everything. Like we were trying to do this, and then they like released the 150-page document like 2 months before the legalization took effect with all of like the extra rules.
Right.
And we were just like, oh shit, that's like money we don't have. So it kind of just stopped there. But I was like, I learned a lot about, a little in comparison, but I learned a lot from me about the industry trying to start this product that I was like, you know, this didn't work out, but I'm still really passionate about this.
I love that. And there is so much room in this industry and just in life in general. Like every experience, I have been really working to not look at others and think why, but like how. Like how can I also do that? Or like how can I learn from that? Or like how can I learn from my own experiences? And in this industry, like failing, and again, in life, like failing is okay.
Yeah.
And not even failing. Like you just learn, you get to figure things out, and then you can, like, I know that idea will come to fruition at some point.
I think that when the timing's right, it will. And the thing is that I'm not in a rush for it because I do know that it is a timing thing.
Yeah.
And it's just a cool thing that could happen, you know. It's not the end all goal that I went for it, but I guess that kind of just started having me really start thinking about cannabis and food. And then when we started working with Bloom, that was really cool because the first event that we did with them was a sit down, like 5-course meal that we worked with Chef Luke Reyes. I don't know what he's up to these days, but he just came up with these really inventive like dishes, and we wanted it to still be Food Beast too.
Yeah.
So like one of the dishes was a fried Cornish game hen
with
a tempura, with a Cool Ranch tempura dusted cannabis leaf and ranch. And it was just like, he just came up with these really
I'm like
cool
literally like drooling right now.
Yes.
So
like
bad.
I was just like, okay, this is cool. It just, in my mind, it's just getting more and more. And then the last thing, like kind of the last project I did with them before I ended up moving on from Food Beast was they wanted some recipes with some products that they wanted to feature in the store. And because I had already done recipes, I just got assigned that article. And I ended up making like 3 or 4 different desserts with different products, photographing it and everything. And then I was like, oh shit, I miss this. I was like, this is what I used to do. I miss this. Like, I can still do this.
Yeah.
And so then, like, after I left, I was like, they wanted to still work with me because they loved that. And then it was just it from there, really. Like they had me do a couple of the recipes, and then they introduced me to Pantry. And then that was one of the second
Love
company.
that content that you do. It's so cool.
And then just like went from there. Like I think the thing is this, like I really try to apply the same philosophy I have for food onto like the food that I make with cannabis. Like I don't treat it as 2 different separate entities.
I love that.
I just, trying to put my flair on something that I already do, incorporating something that I love.
Yeah. And so have your parents, have they tried?
Getting back to
that. I was like, did we ever actually, like, because we're high.
So my dad doesn't consume, but my mom will have a little dose. Like she tried the Pantry stuff while she was here.
So cool.
It was actually kind of funny because like after 2 days of being here, she didn't sleep well the first night, so she's like, what do you have? And I had some beverages. She was drinking Gem and Jane. I had Gem and Jane.
Beverages.
And so she loved the Gem and Jane because it was very microdose, and she slept super well. And then like by the 5th night she was here, she was like of her own volition going and like getting her drink or getting her little pantry bite for the night. And I sent her home with like the box of the pantry glow bites, and like
those are so good.
I know. And they're real, like the real ingredients, not like fake peppermint flavor or anything. Like it's real.
I usually actually don't like peppermint.
Yeah, same.
And I was so surprised. Like when I ate it, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I really
it's
like that.
Refreshing.
Yeah,
like,
it was
it's like better than a breath mint. Like it's like
it's more mild than, it's not like a blast.
No. A flavor
of peppermint. Like it like it's not, I don't know. I'm not
it kind of hits you in phases, I feel like.
Yeah.
At first you taste the chocolate and then the peppermint's more like a cooling effect afterwards.
Yeah. I like that description. That's way better than whatever I was saying. And that's why you're the food writer, content master.
Yeah. But
She's like, let me refine that a little bit.
Oh God. So my mom's cool with it now. Like, and she's experimenting in small doses. Like, she would.
That's exciting.
She had like she'll eat half of the pantry bite, which is probably 2 milligrams, and then like 5 minutes later, she's like, I feel it, and I'm like, if you do, that's great for you.
Yeah,
but
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that it took a while for them to be like, oh, well, she's making money from this. It's not like she's just like being a stoner Cali girl. Like, but like it's actually my livelihood. And now like my dad is like, oh, your uncle like invested in this CBD company. So like even his like super conservative Catholic family, they don't understand the medicine yet. Like it's just like for them, they're thinking in the business lens. Oh, it's like the next big thing. So hopefully the you know like the actual recognizing of the benefits comes later. But at least they're like at least somehow open minded about it and considering it viable. Whatever. Yeah. In a business sense, not that matters.
No, but that is such a because your parents are still in Virginia, right? So. My mom was pretty much the exact same way. Yeah. Like, I think that's a very Northern Virginia, like DMV area kind of, because that area is so weird. It's like, because I grew up Catholic. You did?
My dad's family was Catholic. Okay. I was raised Presbyterian. But I would go to the Catholic church for the major holidays and baptisms and stuff.
Yeah. Like, my family was so weird about what they would be, like, kind of more conservative on, but also more liberal on. I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah. No, yeah.
When it came to like the actual finances of it, I feel like that, and the finances and then health stuff too. Because my mom was like, well, yeah, I don't want you on opioids.
Right. And
she was like, but do I want you smoking weed?
Yeah.
Like, I think that was a weird flip for her too.
I mean, one of my cousins on that side who is also still very like conservative, has dealt with a lot of pain with various things, and even she like is starting to really recognize like the benefits of it medically.
Wow.
And it's cool to see. I mean, it sucks that it had to be discovered in that way.
Right.
But I guess, you know, we all have to respect everyone's journey to however they experience it. I mean, my dad smoked when he was younger. But like,
okay, interesting.
Yeah.
But now he doesn't.
He wouldn't.
Okay, interesting.
Not because he has anything to do with it, just, other things.
Well, I mean, there's so many different reasons. Like, you have to think of the geography of it. Like, in that area, we didn't have options. We didn't have, like, it was still so illegal.
Right.
Like, you didn't just go get, like, this life here, I will never take that for granted.
Totally.
It's night and day.
It really is. I had my cousin came and visited me, like, back in August, and they were just, like, blown away. Like, they were in Orange County, so we told them to go to Jungle Boys, and they were just, like, in heaven. And just, like,
oh, my God, that's quality.
You know, they were, like, smoking a joint every morning. Like, just, like, wow, this is how life is here. And I remember when I moved here and I felt that sense of wonder. Like before I moved here officially, I rented an Airbnb for a month and did a trial run.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm moving across the country. Like that's intense. And
where
the job
were you at first?
When I did the trial run, Silver Lake or Echo Park, Silver Lake area.
Cool.
Like North Echo Park, kind of by the stadium.
Yeah.
So pretty. Yeah. Then I lived there and I was like, oh my God, a weekend I was like, I'm going to move here. and then when I decided to move here and I looked at the cost of rent, I was like, I will not be living in Echo Park. I will be living in MacArthur Park. It is way less nice, but it's right down the street.
I will actually not be moving here. Correction.
But yeah, it was just the California experience overall, and with weed. Everything's great minus how much it costs to live here.
The same thing happened to me in Santa Monica. I was like, dope, I could do this. And then I was like, no, but I actually can't.
Yeah. Oh man!
Wow, that's so funny.
Someone got stabbed outside of my apartment in LA. Oh my God, it was terrifying.
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah. I saw a guy. So one of my first times in LA, I saw this guy pulling out a knife at Starbucks. It was like 9 a.m, like on a Tuesday. Everyone was like going to work, and all these cops were around this guy, and I was like, interesting. And he's like yelling and like waving this knife, and I was like, all right, like
welcome to LA.
Like we're doing this.
Like when I lived in DC, like I felt like I owned that city. Like I grew up there. I walked through the streets with authority,
and you could walk around. I didn't even have a car in DC.
Me neither.
Completely different.
I was so crazy, but I loved walking. I would walk from my apartment south of Eastern Market all the way to the Capitol, beyond into downtown, just because I wanted to. Yeah, like if you did that here, well, first of all, you could not go a long enough stretch of it being that safe to walk that far.
Or even like there'd just be a highway or something that's like 9 lanes. That would never, no.
But I feel like coming here was kind of like little fish, big pond type of thing, which I liked. Like there was a sense of wonder about LA and like sense of possibility and potential. And I think the one thing that really made me feel more at home here is just the more creatives and just a more sense of creativity. I feel like in DC you worked in government, nonprofit, or like law, and that was pretty much it. Like I would tell people that I like wrote about food or photographed food, and they're like, "Who is this like crazy scumbag?" And I guess it does have a real job.
Exactly. That whole real job. What's your real job? And so how we know each other is I was doing a bunch of content and events and other random marketing, social media stuff also at the time. And one of my clients had an event, or a few, I saw you at a ton of different events, but especially I remember at Provision 14.
Oh, yeah.
And then
I love that restaurant.
I'm blanking on the other place. There was like, there would always be like pop-up bars.
It was the National...
National Pupusa Day. That was super cool. That was for another client. And so, I like, that's so crazy. That was so many years ago now.
I forgot that you did Provision 14 too. Yep. That funny story, that became like my date spot. And if the guy gawked at how expensive the food was, it was over. Because that restaurant was like, it was good, but like, it was like, squeaky.
I'm trying so hard. Sorry. This is the squeakiest grinder. It's not my grinder. It's also a stolen grinder. This is calling me out. This is the karma. I didn't even
You were like, no one's going to know.
I was trying to cover it too. Like, no one's going to see it. Guys, this isn't my grinder. It's someone else's.
It was an accident.
It was an accident. I didn't mean to take it. My other grinder is red, and I was gonna not show anyone that, and it's giving me away.
That thing needs to be greased.
Do you hear it? Like,
even through the headphones.
I'm trying so hard right now.
You should just like rip the Band-Aid off and just go up.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, crying a little bit.
Moving on.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, anyway, so I think it's so cool to now be talking with you today and like learning more about your journey and, you know, everything that's led you to what you're doing now. And so another thing I want to touch on too is you've been putting a lot more content on TikTok, and I'm curious, what is this journey of pivoting into this TikTok style content for you been like? Because I'd say dominantly you're really good with Instagram.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good
But
question.
you're also really great with TikTok now too. Sorry, she's amazing at all the things that she does. But
Stop.
she is, you know, you're very talented with the style that Instagram has, and so I'm wondering, what is this pivot like for you?
I'm still learning, first of all. But I would say the main thing has been to not overcomplicate it, because I feel like content on Instagram has to be a lot more curated. And what I find myself doing is, you know, I'll make my video for Instagram with the full recipe or whatever, and I'll share it on TikTok too. But on TikTok, I can literally just pick like one or two individual clips from that recipe. And just like, you know, I mean, find trending audio and just stick it on there, and like even if it's just lame, like 5 seconds, people don't care.
Oh, I put the stupidest shit on TikTok.
And that was like the biggest realization for me, kind of like being like, when I do video, it's a little bit less like curated and like detail oriented as photo. But coming from the mindset of everything needs to be put in the right place and everything, and even coming from the media standpoint, like back at Food Beast, everything was very like, you know, formulaic. It was like, we have to do this video like this, because if this is in the first 5 seconds, then it'll perform this or that and that. And that kind of like killed the joy of creating for so long. And then when you go on TikTok and you realize that people don't really give a shit if it's perfect, it's like almost liberating in a way.
It is a little bit. I would totally agree.
It sucks because it's not as liberating when you can't post the content that you want to post. I personally haven't experienced that yet. And with Waffle, I'm kind of lucky because they're just an appliance and it's not actual
it's a really
product.
Good angle.
I feel like I'm able to do so much because of that angle, and I'm appreciative that I can do so much. If it was a different type of product, I know it would be different, but it's really fun for them because it's just all about like, this is already a novelty product. Like, even if people don't make every single recipe, it's like they know that an extra level of novelty is possible with this already novelty gift. And like, if you're gonna go out of your way to buy a cannabis leaf shaped waffle maker, why not create a freaking hibiscus waffle once every 2 months? You know what I'm saying?
The recipes you come up with are so cool, cute. Oh my God. The creme brulee, I like memorized her. I'm like slowly just indexing her recipes.
I love that.
But the because creme brulee is like easily one of my favorite desserts, and that looked insane. I was so high, and I was scrolling on Instagram, and I think you like posted a story. I was like,
you sent me 4 messages. It was like 1 word per message. Actually, no, girl, it wasn't even a message. You commented 3 or 4 individual comments on the post.
It looked so
I was
good.
I was so happy to see that, because I was like, this is stream of consciousness commenting right now. You were like, what
the fuck? Like, I was like, this looks like why don't I have this right now? Like, I should have this immediately. Why isn't there something where you can just snap your fingers and the food you are looking at just appears?
I mean, like, it can appeal to...
That's where my mind was.
Like, I mean... ASMR is big right now. Like, I can't listen to that all the time. Like, when I don't create only that type of stuff. But when you think about food as something that doesn't just need to involve taste, like, it can involve your sense of hearing as well. Like, just involving another sense, and like, when I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna make a creme brulee waffle, it has to have sound to the video. Because what's the point if not?
I totally agree. And so you know, do you think Instagram is going to stay? You said earlier that Instagram is more curated. I'm curious, do you think it's going to stay that way, or do you think it's shifting?
I think it's it's shifting, and I don't really know what the future of it will be, because I feel like a lot of the people that have invested so much time in Instagram are just so fed up with it. And like, you know, I just started getting into video. Like, I was a photographer, like, only up until maybe like a year ago. And so when, you know, I've been on Instagram since like 2013. I started my blog in 2014.
Yeah.
So like
that was like old. That's like blogging. Yeah. Like, we were bloggers. There weren't influencers. It was like, that was actually the word that was like, influencer replaced bloggers. People who are like younger watching this, they're gonna be like, what?
Yeah. No, it is true. And like, I remember like, people would call Food Beast a blog, and I'm like, no, it's a website. Because blog first, it was like, oh, you're a blogger, but then it was like, oh, you're a blogger. Like,
yep. No, it's crazy. It's totally different, and like, that was such an early start.
Yeah.
Wow. I just like, my mind is like totally back in like 2000. I don't know.
Long ago.
15, 16 again.
I remember I started my blog, and I started working at a restaurant shortly after, when I was living in Chicago, and like, they made fun of me for it. Everyone in the kitchen, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna write about this on your blog?" I would be like, they would cook like a good family meal. I'd be like, "Hey guys, family meal tasted really good. Like, we're gonna feature on your blog," and I'm like, "Fuck you guys."
Dude, the amount of, because I used to do, so I started as a fashion blogger.
Okay, yeah.
And I did a lot of fashion stuff, and so I would always be taking pictures. And you know what, like, now, especially watching, and I know, like, totally controversial figure, but Kanye West, like, watching all of his documentaries on Netflix.
Well, actually, have they done the third one yet? I've only watched 2 episodes.
I think they did. I always fall asleep. It's so bad.
So does Evan.
I just fall asleep. It's like, I cannot make it until the end of anything. There will be like 5 minutes left, and I'm just like, I never know the end of anything. And so I do think the third one is out, but I fell asleep.
Okay.
And so, but it's been mad inspiring. And something that like has always been really important to me is documenting things. Like, I don't know. I never had the best memory, to be honest, even before weed. It's not a stoner thing. And so I just loved taking pictures, and I loved the art of it. I loved video. I loved just like collecting documentation.
I will say that I feel like I have become a little bit more inspired to create content with TikTok, knowing that it can simply just be like a few video clips that are just an accurate representation of my life. Not even like, not just trying to make something look perfect or like extreme or whatever. Just like, it's cool.
Extreme. That's an interesting word.
Well, that's coming from my Food Beast experience. Like, everyone was like, okay, like how it was basically
what was
like
the other word too.
That's what we needed with our clients. We needed these videos to break the internet.
Yeah.
So like, and with their audience,
your stuff inspired me so much. Yeah. Fuck, what was it called? Like excess marketing or something? I can't remember. There's like a certain term for it, but like extreme is like a beautiful way to describe that. Like crazy photos, just like grabbing like stacks of burgers and like super like 20 scoops of ice cream on a cone.
It kind of so when I was at that job, we went to Playlist Live, which have you heard of? It's like, I don't think they do it anymore, but it was like a convention for YouTubers. Yeah. And I was sitting next to one of the YouTubers that I met on the weekend on my flight back. And I was talking to him, and it was really interesting. This was probably 4 years ago. And he was like, yeah, I had to take a break because, like, I just couldn't come up with content that, like, what people were becoming interested in. And I shit you not, I literally looked over to his screen, and the title of the video that he was posting next was "The Time I Lit Myself on Fire." Like, I'm not like,
oh my
God. And then he was going on like, I love having facial hair, but my audience is younger, and so like I always shave it, just like a slave to the audience.
Yeah.
And now I feel like with TikTok, it's just a little bit more liberated than that.
Interesting. Okay.
I love that. I feel like there are niches on TikTok that I like never even knew were niches.
Right.
And so I feel like, I don't know, like you can find
totally
your
different
group
world
on there, even if you don't think there's anybody else. Like, some of the videos I see, them just like, I'm so glad there's more people. There's people like that.
I think I have ADHD from TikTok. Like, I'm not even, it's like freaking me out. And it's like, are you marketing me ADHD? But also, I think it's a part of our society. Like, I mean, these apps are literally changing our behaviors. Yeah. Like, it completely. And so I think that's, like, also a little bit of part of it. Totally different discussion, though. But I just keep seeing all these things. And it'll be like someone, okay, this is the craziest one. Last night I'm watching TikTok. And I fell down a rabbit hole of I don't even know what the fuck. And so I'm sitting there, hang on, all my audio listeners, I'm pulling my sweatshirt over my nose. I go like this. And I don't even know why I do it.
When you watch TikTok?
Like when I'm like at my laptop or like when I just am like sitting, I don't know what it is. And so I'm watching TikTok, and it's like that soundbite that's like, no, do weird shit when I'm alone.
I love that. And then you're like, I'm going to use that audio.
Right? But so the girl, this woman is like sitting there like on her phone, and like she's like this. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? And for all my audio listeners, my sweatshirt is like over my nose. And then it was like, I do weird shit when I'm alone. And I was like, I'm alone and I'm doing that. What? Like, this is so creepy. Yeah. And then it was like, this is like, and essentially in the caption, it was like, this is what you do if you have ADHD. And I was like, how does that even fucking...
Yeah,
okay. I was like, what?
I will say, I get fed a lot of ADHD content on TikTok, too. I'm not really sure what all that's about. But, like, the content itself is funny.
It is funny.
But, yeah.
But yeah, I've self-diagnosed.
Because you do your sweatshirt that way.
Because I do my sweatshirt that way. And that's the shit on TikTok.
People on TikTok think that they are experts on everything. I posted this video of
They're better than Twitter experts, honestly.
I posted this video. My cat, so she buries her food. Like, she fake buries it.
Right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Obviously, she's burying it because she wants to come back and eat it later, right? Like, that's just... Like, the internet says that, and your common sense says that.
Yeah.
But, like, people commented on a TikTok being like, oh, your cat doesn't like its food. And I'm like...
Dude, some of the comments on TikTok are, like, wild. Like, Gen Z is savage. Like, I mean, I think every generation when they're teenagers is actually pretty savage, and then we all just, like, die a little inside. And we're like... And then, like, you know, eventually the next generation comes, and they're like, wow, what crazy individuals. And it's like, no, you just... Yeah. The happiness has died.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
That's like the raw you.
Yeah. Like. Yeah, no, exactly. Well, so then with where you see content going, what do you think is the future of social media? And that's a pretty broad question, but I'm curious just what your thoughts are.
I don't know, because I actually try to limit my time on there when I'm not creating or when I'm not like specifically trying to find a song for something or something like that, because I get too narrow-minded.
I totally feel that.
So
owned by your audience, essentially. Yeah.
And I just want I worry about the trajectory of social media a little bit, especially Instagram, especially how engrossed our like the next generation is with it. I feel like we're still learning how to use it for good, right?
Totally.
Like, I mean, you watch every documentary these days, and it's like, you know, Britney Spears, this or that. It's like when social media and internet and all of this is like starting out. Perhaps we're still like gaining our bearings from this. I mean, the internet wasn't invented that long ago, if you think about it.
No, it's crazy. We're like in this like vacuum of time where it's like, I swear to God, when you step outside tech stuff, or like even when I go from LA to, like, my mom is on the Eastern Shore now.
Okay, nice.
And so I like, unless I'm going in for work, like I don't really go into DC anymore. Mm-hmm. And so it's completely different worlds.
Yeah.
Like totally night and day coming from LA to the Eastern Shore of Maryland.
Yeah.
And so I do think that like there is this like vacuum of technology and development that we're in, and like, but you can kind of like go in and out of the matrix, which is interesting.
I feel like you can curate. It's important to curate your own experience on social media.
Totally.
I'm talking about as a consumer, I guess, at this point, not as a creator. Like during the pandemic, I went through my followers and kind of like redid that. Yeah. Because I was just like, this isn't making me happy. This is stressing me out. This is making me compare myself. Like, I think that we are, as a society, still need to learn how to fully use social media as good, because we're talking about like all the great things that it can connect you to other people that you didn't even know existed. I think we're just like collectively still just figuring out how to use it best and how to avoid situations that aren't best.
Yeah, I think media literacy around social media and also just even reading news online, I think that's going to be way more of a core curriculum for kids. Yeah. I know it's already being taught at least at like a collegiate level, but I don't know about
I think it's just important, like with anything in life, to just set certain boundaries around it. Like if you think about, why am I on social media? For me,
just like
it's
boundaries
my work.
with TV.
Yeah, like for me, it's my work. It's to get inspiration. Other people, it can just be entertainment, and that's okay. Yeah. But I think it just goes back to, like how I said, I feel like weed kind of slows me down to actually think about being mindful about these things. It's just like, let's just get more intentional about it. And if you're creating meaningful content, then you're going to find your audience. And I think that I
totally agree.
Yeah, and I think it's in an age that's ruled by numbers. I try not to think about it too much. Like with
it's tough.
Like I just started managing the Waffle Eye account too.
Oh,
and
nice.
We've lost some followers, but the audience is way more engaged.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I would rather have that.
Yeah, it's way so I've just been doing some tests, and I have a I have a Send Us Flowers account for TikTok, but I haven't I just am posting videos because I want to see the reach at 0 followers. I'm like, all right, this is a nothing account. I haven't told anyone about it. I haven't posted it anywhere. I'm not going to follow anyone. I'm simply going to post videos and see what happens. Both videos that I've put up almost have 300 views. Some of my Instagram video, I'm so shadow banned, it's stupid. You have to type, I know shadow ban doesn't exist. It does. Go type in any cannabis person, brand, whatever. Even Wiz Khalifa at this point, finally celebrity, bigger names are coming out and talking about this. So fucking thank you, Burner and Wiz Khalifa, for being the people who by the way, are doing that. I'm sending you guys flowers. But the
censorship.
It's crazy.
The Waffle Eye hashtag.
Yeah, is now probably
And I just realized the other week, because you wouldn't think that this brand's hashtag.
Oh yeah.
I just was like,
totally. It's crazy. And so I haven't used hashtags on an Instagram post. I don't even know that life. That life is dead to me.
Oh my God, I wish I knew that.
Years. No. Because I'm if anything, this will just get me, it'll actually be worse.
That's how I feel about wild. I've come to a point of feeling that about my own content, and so when I was thinking about managing an account, I was okay, I need to not let it bleed into my personal feelings about it.
That's so tough. Yeah. It's so hard to separate that, and then especially because the numbers game, because all the data can tell you different things about your account, but there's also, you can't fully rely on data. There's also anecdotal evidence, and so it's this weird balance. And then for me, something I've really experienced in trying to have this content shift is realizing that people were already there for what I was doing that I liked. I was just doing me. Yeah. And people were like, oh, hey, what's she doing?
Yeah. I think that's awesome.
But then I get in my head and I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this other thing and I have to make this reel and it has to be with this trending song, but it also has to relate back to endometriosis and cannabis, and I have to show this hat in it. And
that is so many elements.
And this sound is trending, so I have to do it now. But then I'm like, oh, but this other girl just posted something similar. Now do I have to give her credit? And it's this whole, and someone listening to this is probably wow, no. But it's
I understand that thought process though. I get it. It's
tough. And so you really have to let go a little bit, and definitely smoking. Like when I swear to God, when I get absolutely ripped and just like go on TikTok for a little bit, and I'm like, I like that sound.
Yeah,
and then
all the best ideas come to me when
I know
creme brulee waffle definitely
yes,
high. Like
so
obviously,
sick. Yeah, no, and so yeah, it's really wild like watching this shift, but it's also interesting too because a lot of people say like, oh, this app is dead or this form of content is dead. But look at the amount of social apps and like content sharing. I don't even, are they social anymore? It's like content sharing apps. Yeah. Like, I don't know. And you look at it and like there's still people on Facebook. There's still tons of people on Instagram. Yes, TikTok has greater reach and all this stuff. I kind of think some of the views are a little inflated, but like, I mean, the virality of some things definitely are crazy. But, you know, I do think that there's so many different audiences at this point that have places that serve them that, like, almost any place can be the best place for you.
I think it's cyclical.
Oh, totally.
Like, a lot of these apps are cyclical.
Like Snapchat. That's, like, one of the #1 apps right now.
Is it really?
I'm not kidding you. So, like, I have a bunch of younger cousins. All they use is like Snapchat and TikTok.
Wow.
TikTok for like their funny, goofy videos, and then Snapchat for like their close friend stuff.
I got kind of creeped out by Snapchat when you could like all of a sudden see all of your friends' locations.
Oh, I turned that off so quick. Yeah, what the fuck is that? Yeah, that was interesting.
I downloaded it. I re-downloaded it like a little while ago simply to get like you have your saved photos or whatever on there. I got some gems on there.
Oh my God. We're going to have to compare, but we have to do that off the podcast because that was college, Liz. And nah.
Yeah. But so I went on there and they still had that feature, the location feature, and I'm like, wow, that's so creepy. Like it's so accurate too.
Yeah,
like, it's really weird.
Wild. Yeah. So I think it's really interesting. I love hearing people's opinions about it because I do feel like we are at this point where like we like the shift that we experienced is now finally happening like to us. And like there's things I'll watch. Like last night I was showing my boyfriend this TikTok and he was like, I just don't get it. And I was like,
that happens to me.
I was like, what do you mean you don't get it? Like, we can't be old. Like, we have to understand it. What's happening?
Yeah. That's so funny. I feel like with the TikTok, like I'm finding myself getting like audio stuck in my head.
All last
and
night.
It's like not even the full. So like when I'm looking for a trending audio, obviously you're on that one audio and it's being played over and over while you're scrolling. And so
in my head, it's like behavioral conditioning.
Yeah, and like I'm not hearing the full song. I'm hearing what my eyes would be seeing if I was on the app.
I have the most mind-blowing story for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
It's actually not that mind-blowing, but I was pretty mind-blown. So there's this song. It's like, I miss the rage. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's
Maybe,
been on TikTok. So. I'll have to show you.
Okay.
But like if you've been on TikTok, you might know this. And it's like, I miss the rage. I miss the rage. And it was trending for a while. It's like a year old. And the original song is a trippy red Playboy Cardi song. And I kept listening to their song. And I was like, where the fuck is the part from like TikTok? Like, and I would always have like the TikTok version stuck in my head, and I was like, is there an extended version somewhere? Is this like a limited thing on an album? And then finally the other night, this literally just happened to me. I actually posted about it on my Instagram today because I was so, what the fuck? There's this guy, Mario Judah, who made an entire fake album because Playboy Cardi apparently, this is from my boyfriend, by the way. I had no knowledge of this. Like, I had no idea what any of this was. But apparently, Playboy Cardi wouldn't release his album. And so Mario Judah made, like, a fake album of, like, Playboy Cardi stuff. And it's fire. It's, like, straight, and, like, his fake track I thought was the real track the entire time. I was like blown away. It has insane views. I want to say 10 million.
Wow.
Like it's crazy. And all the comments are like the top comment is like aggressively twerking. Like it's a straight banger. And I'm sorry, like Trippie Redd and Playboy Cardi, if you ever listen to this podcast, but like, yeah, that I don't know. He killed it.
People are doing cool things on TikTok. I mean, I really like
so
the
creative.
accounts where they do mashups.
Yeah.
And then, then you can use that audio.
Yeah. It's really, it's fun.
It's cool to see like families get creative together and stuff too. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I do love that. All right. Well, I've really enjoyed this. I want to dive into what's in your bag.
Oh, yes.
I also want to attempt this Gravitron.
Okay,
because we have a gravity bong.
We're definitely going to attempt it. Which order are we doing this?
I don't know. I was like, what order are we doing this in? Okay, first let's hear about what's in your bag, and then I'll show you show me yours.
Sick.
I'll show you mine.
Okay, so what's in my bag? The bag is whatever size I want it to be.
You can have a Mary Poppins bag if you so choose.
There's a few things come to mind. Definitely the Puffco, versatility.
Yeah.
As for what to smoke in the Puffco, I'm a huge 710 Labs fan.
Yeah.
Also love their pods. They're like the only pods I prefer to buy.
I have not tried them. I've seen you post about them a lot, though.
You should definitely try the Percy pod because that's the solventless. And it's just like, oh my God, so much flavor.
Okay.
And then I also really like Hash and Flowers these days. They're small farm. I saw them at Emerald Cup. I'm pretty sure they're distributed in like 2 dispensaries down here.
Interesting.
And I really like their hash. It's also solventless, and they just do a really good job.
Love solventless anything.
As far as edibles, definitely my pantry glow bites.
Yeah,
because they're just so easy to pop. And I've really been liking the Binsky gummies. Actually,
I did not try those at
really
Hall of Flowers. They looked good.
They taste kind of like a little gumdrop.
Okay,
they're like a more dense, like chewy gummy, and I love that. And like I have the mixed berry flavor, and I really like it because you get like the fruitiness at front, and it has like just the right amount of taste of cannabis in it that you're like, okay, yes, this I'm taking an edible. I don't mind it if it complements it.
Yeah, I agree.
So those things, and I think that's probably it. If I were to do a drink, I really liked the Klaus.
Yeah,
that one was so good. The ginger, like ginger beer, like.
Ooh, I didn't try that one.
I think I got it from one of the events or something. Ooh, but I just it tasted like you were drinking a ginger beer, and it was also probably like more like 10. It was a higher dose, 10 milligrams.
Oh, I'm thinking of Malice.
Okay, that's
which
the cider,
is the cider,
but
also good.
Yeah,
I got those two.
This one has like a colorful like spiral.
Okay, I don't think I've tried that one then because I was like ginger beer. I love ginger beer.
Yeah, so good.
So that would actually be really good.
So yeah, they were at that event that we were at.
Okay.
In Palm Springs. I think Klaus is the one that's by Warren
Barbaro, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? I don't think I tried that.
Okay. Well,
I think I totally missed that.
Actually, it might only. I just got it from that event. It might only be up north. So we need to. We need to like help get it down.
We'll go on a journey
because it's so good. The flavor was just like really clean and sharp and not like muddy. I feel like sometimes when you add like the cannabis extract to it, you don't have those like clear flavors.
I hear you.
But it was really good and sharp and refreshing.
Yeah, I've been really liking the Wonder drinks.
I haven't tried those yet actually, but I've heard really good things.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like the effect. Like it's one of the best the onset is really nice. And it's like all these different blends of cannabinoids. And so they're all, you feel it.
Yeah.
It's very relaxing and euphoric. And it's like that warm, kind of like giggly, like.
I feel like beverages are that way.
Yeah.
Like the giggly.
Yeah, like very like giggly. And I love being like giggly high. And so.
Totally. I love that.
Okay, I have a lot of stuff in my bag.
Yes.
We do have a gift to test. I've never tried this, guys. We literally had the instruction manual out, and so I do actually want to just look at it one more time.
Yeah, we got this. Well, you did step 1 already.
We did do step 1, yeah. Okay. So we filled it with water. So I think
see if it's like, is it supposed? It's not supposed to suction.
No, I don't think so.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Cool.
that this should be
Oh,
good.
is it? It might be too much water. It says halfway.
Oh, whoops. Okay, hang on. I mean, do you think it would just fit, like,
We could try it.
Could just go like that?
I don't understand the physics of it.
Okay, here.
Let's just try it.
Yeah, we're going to try it. This is why we have editing. Or people can just laugh at us either way.
I feel like, yeah, we can try it, but it might need more, like, room.
Yeah, maybe Should I just empty it out?
This is the... Well, does this come up?
Yeah.
You can just take that.
Okay. I'm going to pour some of this out real quick. All right, we're back. We've got the appropriate amount of water. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I am
You
going...
wanna go first?
I'm not going to try the torch thing. Maybe that's just it. I feel like we should accomplish
it's already one thing
yeah,
that we're doing new.
Yeah. I was going to do this like cool. We're just going to... Yeah, we'll do it the second round if it...
What is your heart telling you? What do you want to
telling me that's going to be a disaster.
Okay. A fun disaster or like a bad disaster?
With a torch, it could be either way.
Okay, maybe we see. Yeah, okay.
It could go either way.
It could.
All right. Okay, so. Oh.
Whoa. Oh, shit. You want to do it?
I think that's correct.
Yeah, that's definitely correct.
Okay,
you want to
so
do it?
now, so maybe pull that out.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Whoa. Whoa.
Okay, so I get it. I see why you don't want a lot of water.
Are you okay?
That's the gravity part. The water goes up. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, it looks like at the right level now after you
No, that worked. Yeah, that worked. That worked well.
Okay.
Damn, that's a rip. And that tastes so good because that's the Black Apple Kush. Oh my God.
Okay.
That's nice.
My turn?
That's super flavorful. It feels like I just bit into an apple.
Really?
Here, let's get you a fresh.
Oh, love it.
Here, hand me that box.
Okay, sure. The first time I did a gravity bong, I was at a family friend's graduation party, and the neighbor was giving out gravity bongs in her garage. And
Wait. Okay, that was like the most... I'm sorry. We're going to have to back that up.
I was at a family friend's college graduation party.
Okay.
And their friends
Why did
who lived
the weirdest stuff happen at college graduation parties?
I don't know. The friend who lived next door had the gravity bong in her garage. And so she was giving them out to whoever wanted them. And I was like, this is when I was living in DC. I was like, I know, I've smoked. Like, I'm like... I know how to smoke. Like, I'm cool with it.
I know how to smoke.
Literally took this gravity bong, and for the first time that I have ever, still to this day, like, no words were spoken out of my mouth for like 2 hours. Like, I couldn't form the words.
Yeah.
And I think I blacked out for like 5 minutes too. Like, didn't even know that was possible. And my cousin like goes to her and is like, "What'd you do to my cousin?
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with her?"
Oh my God, that is insane. Why would someone just have that? I mean, I get.
You didn't know
like,
any better.
Yeah, no, I know. Because I'm saying that as if I didn't have like multiple cut up 2-liter bottles in my bathroom, like under the sink. You would just open it and there would be all this shit for gravity bongs. My brother would get in so much trouble. He'd always just have like gravity, like the grossest one. Like, at least just throw it out and like replace some of them. Like, okay, here. So you, I think, pull it up.
Okay.
And then I'll light and remove the bowl.
Light, and then lift.
Yeah. Okay. So start lifting. Okay, keep going. All right.
Okay, and I just inhaled it.
Yeah.
Push it down.
Yeah. Yeah, that worked.
Yeah. Ooh.
Whoa, that looks sick.
Does that mean there's more?
Yeah, that means there's more. Yeah. Damn, that's like it's a 2-in-1. Whoa. This is so cool.
Oh, yeah.
As you can see.
Really smooth.
Yeah, that's like, yeah.
I love it.
That was crazy.
That's like it's like a bong, but way smoother. Love it.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I like the look of it too. It's really clean.
It is very classy.
It's not excessive. And
No.
It's just like simple and functional and beautiful. I love it.
For all the audio listeners, so we just did a gravity bong. It was not a 2-liter bottle. It's actually the glass. It's actually the glass version of it, though.
Yeah, essentially.
And super upscale and very clean. So appreciate you, Grav. Appreciate you, Red.
What is the sketchiest way that you've consumed cannabis?
Probably I immediately went to, I have a memory. It popped up like that. We actually had like 10 memories. They were all fighting to the front. But I think one of them was, I used to go to shows all the time in DC. I loved going to like Echo Stage and like U-Haul, and U-Haul's closed now, by the way.
Oh.
I know. So
930 Club?
930 Club is still there. Yeah.
Did you ever
go there all the yeah. Oh my God. Because I was covering music.
Okay. Yeah.
And so when I was in DC, my blog was events and like lifestyle, and I kind of graduated from fashion to doing like more music stuff. I actually had an old podcast. It's still on SoundCloud. Yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
called The Industry Life. And I interviewed like EDM artists and DJs in DC.
So sick.
It was completely different, but I actually think it's still up there.
That's amazing. I'm going to have to go look for it.
I'm going to have to go look for it too. Like, same.
Love it.
But yeah, I totally lost my train of thought.
You were talking about DC and going to shows a lot.
Oh,
but I don't remember where you were going with that either.
We were talking about the Gravitron too.
Yeah. Well, that's why
we're walking it back.
Oh, we were talking about your sketchiest way you've ever smoked weed.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I'd go to shows a bunch in DC, and then okay, I see where that
we got it.
See where that went. So, I would go to shows a bunch in DC, and a bunch of my friends and I had been out, late. And we all wanted to smoke weed, but we didn't have anything to smoke with. And so we got a can and, like, made, like, the fork holes and went outside. But it was so cold. And because, like, you couldn't, like, smoke in a DC apartment. I mean, you can't really smoke in an apartment anyway, but, like, yeah, they would know. There were, like, 9 people in that apartment. And so they're like, it's me. And so we went down below, like, into the stairwell of someone else's door, like front door, and I was like, worst case, they'll just ask us to leave. Like, if they and so we're all like, there's like 6 of us, and we're just smoking out of a can.
Oh my God.
At like 4 a.m. in front of this person's door, just like it was. I have a bunch of other stories, but that was definitely one of them. And just please never smoke out of a can. For the love of God, don't do it.
Apple,
I think I like killed some. I think we were trying to go to like, we're like, is anything open just to get some like fruit? Yeah, I think I killed some brain cells with that one. Like, don't please God, don't ever do that.
After I graduated college, I was like, I'm not gonna smoke anymore. That was just my college me. So I like gave my chillum away. Like I had a chillum that my friend and I bought together. I gave it away because I was like, I'm not going to be a smoker anymore. And then obviously still smoked. And so I just would carry around the tools I needed to make an apple bong wherever I went, and just would always be making the apple bongs. But I do have a sketchy cannabis consumption story, which is when we were in college, my guy friends that were from California, they discovered hash. And so, but they didn't have anything to smoke it with. Oh. So we knifed. Oh. Have you ever heard of this?
The hot knives.
Before?
The hot knives. This is a hot knife.
Well,
it's a graduated version of it. That's why it's okay. So for all the audio listeners, there's a Puffco hot knife. If you look it up, it melts your dab into your Puffco. It's super
not
easy.
Too hot, just not enough for it to slide off.
Crazy, yeah.
But yeah, so we like torched the knives and everything.
Oh my god!
And then
well, at least did you put it on a stove though?
No.
I've done that.
Oh, well, actually,
so
yes, I tried.
Yeah.
I did try to light a piece on a stove once. I think it was a chillum, and I did burn some hair, 100%. Like, not a noticeable amount, but like enough for it to smell, and everyone be like, where did that come from? Have you done that too?
I've done some like just stupid ass shit. Like I said, like there were like at least 10 memories that came to mind.
After I graduated college and moved back home, I just like was like reliving what I should have been doing in high school, because I was like all like goody two shoes, never doing any of this stuff. And then when I was home after college, I was like smoking in forests and driving around and
it's different.
And like I felt like I was trying to relive some like.
You're like, I want it back.
Yeah.
But that's what I love, though, is that something about cannabis and, like, also just my own recent personal journey is that I felt like I lost a lot of my inner child and I wasn't, like, honoring my inner child. And so I've been trying to do that more, and I find it really helps my creativity.
Awesome.
Because I think you should play forever. Like, why does life eventually, like, what, you just hit a certain age and someone's like, all right, no more fun. And it's just like, no. I think if anything, like, what's so cool about getting older is that you actually get to have money sometimes to do the things that you like want to do. So like the glass blowing class I did, like that was kind of like, you know, it was like a couple $100, but it was so worth it. And I've been wanting to do it for so long. And finally I was like, I have the money and the time for this, and I've been wanting to do it for forever. Yeah. And I know so many people who especially the pandemic, like had, you know, I know someone posted about wanting to take like piano lessons, and now they're playing piano.
That's
and
amazing.
Like all these different people have been pursuing their desires and dreams.
Well, you with your art too. I love
that's been
your
so
art.
fun.
Like
Thank
that,
you.
I feel like I look at your art and I feel like the colors that you use like make sense for your personality. I don't know, it just makes sense to me.
I love that because I do the color like. I don't know. I definitely am not a technical artist by any means, but I do love palettes and just like I don't know, and like curating
and like
palettes,
colors and textures. And I feel like you use texture.
Yeah, a lot of texture. Because I love like all the gold and like glitter and just like shiny things. And then that way when you hang it in different places, like the light can hit it at different times of the day, and you have a completely different piece of art because of like, you know, if it has gold leaf on it, it'll glow in like the golden hour, or like I don't know. So
that's so cool.
It's been a fun journey, and it's been so it's been really good for me to like honor the inner child and like honor creativity and playing and experimenting again. And I think a lot of people like lose that, or like they like feel like they have to lose that.
Well, I feel like when you have a more traditional job, you live more. Life is more of a routine. And I feel like since I started working for myself, I am trying to honor my body's ebbs and flows outside of what people traditionally call a work week.
Right.
And like, you don't have to be consistent every day. You're not meant to be having 100% output every day. And I feel like there are definitely people that love the routine. I'm just talking about us. Like, we're creative types. We love just like, I don't know. I'm sure you love being in charge of your schedule.
Oh my God,
Like, you know, even though, and well, you do sell your art, but it's just the practice or process of doing it is like bettering everything else about your life.
Yeah, it definitely. I totally agree. And I would, oh my God, we should do. So I did this thing a few years ago. I tried to make like a marbled frosting edible cake.
Ooh.
But it looked okay, but I feel like you would make a much better one.
Marble frosting edible cake.
And
Done.
so that way we can do like a pour of frosting over it.
Yeah. Okay. We definitely need to collab on something like this.
Yeah, that would be.
I love like creating fun things in the kitchen. Like during quarantine, I had a friend who started like buying my sourdough, my gluten-free sourdough, which
that's
like
so cool.
took me so long to figure out.
Yeah.
Like, come up with that recipe. Basically went insane for like a year trying to make it.
Right.
But it was just like it was cool baking for someone during quarantine.
It's nice because you're like sharing. So selling my art is like the most, or just, and even I give a lot of people art, and so I don't know, there's something about that. I've sold a lot of random shit in my life and like done a lot of random stuff, and doing that is so cool because I think there's art in everything. I think there's art in the food you make, and I think that art is just perspective, and if you're open enough to like put yourself in that person's shoes, you can appreciate a little bit of their story at that time when they created whatever that was. And that can also be a completely different meaning to you.
Yeah.
Or to the person looking at something. And so sharing that is, I don't know, there's something way more connecting there.
I see food as a form of art, totally. And I think that if other people, like I know a lot of people like, okay, like don't love to have to like cook for themselves every night and like go grocery shopping, all of these things. But if we tapped into like the fun aspect of food, or like the fact that it can just be really cathartic and you just created something to nourish yourself, like I feel like that's just empowering in a way that is something so simple. And like something that I definitely want to do with my career for sure is getting people excited about like cooking for themselves, because it doesn't need to be daunting or boring or like even that time consuming. And it can just be a method of like expressing yourself.
Yeah.
And
Totally. I love that. This is so fun.
This is so fun.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It's been awesome.
All right, I'm going to start to close this out. Yeah. I wanted to ask, though, is there any parting advice? I don't know if I said that correctly, but is there any advice that you would like to give other, women in the space? Because we were talking about earlier, just like, I feel like a lot of like art content is definitely similar. Like it's definitely more like it can be more curated. It's a little more feminine, and I really love that. I love that you honor that side of yourself in the space and in your content and art that you ultimately create. And so I was wondering, what advice do you have for another woman, especially if like a foodie woman coming into this space, and what she can expect and what she could do and the boundaries she could set? Yeah, I think that, well, first, if you're someone out there that is inspired to create something, just create it and just start, because I think that we get so caught up in things being, I know sometimes I set unrealistic expectations of myself to do something perfect the first time. Yeah. When that just doesn't make any sense. And especially when it comes to creating something, just starting is the hardest part. And especially if it's something like cannabis, you really just have to like be your own advocate a little bit. Yeah. Especially as a woman for so many other reasons with health and things like that. But especially with your cannabis use, because I feel like there like weirdly is more of a stigma about women smoking than men. Yeah, for sure. So I think that just embrace what you feel to be true. Like when I started doing this, it just felt natural to share. It didn't happen until I moved across the country from my family and kind of was able to discover who I was and what I wanted to do. Yeah. That was a really important piece of it. Yeah. But I think just like treating every situation, trying to think individually. Like I
didn't smoke or consume cannabis until I had an individual thought outside of what I had been told. And so I think just with anything, creating something, smoking, just trying to just think outside of what you may have just been taught or perceived so far in life, and don't limit yourself to things based off of something that you just feel like you know in this moment in time.
Yeah, I love that. That's incredible. I love that advice. That's beautiful.
I hope that makes sense, because I'm pretty lit right now.
I'm gonna like be editing this, like maybe I'm definitely gonna have to smoke. I mean, like I always smoke to edit. That'd be impossible.
Obviously, if you smoke when you record, you have to smoke to edit. Duh.
Dude, I like smoking and editing, especially for a certain period of time. Like I'd take a massive bong rip and just like sit in Premiere, Photoshop or whatever, and I'd be like, like this lit. I get to push the magic buttons and they do the things.
I need to be that level to get into the groove of the video editing.
Yeah, I totally feel that. All right. Thank you so much for coming today. Yay. This was awesome. I loved every moment of this. I hope you all enjoyed as well. I will be linking below how you can connect with Annie more and look at all her incredible content. And stay tuned for next week. I made it so with the last sentence. Stay tuned for next week's episode. Send us flowers. Thank you all. Bye.